I've been asked so many times, what exactly does a collections manager do? The collections manager does everything. If you're with a small institution or a small museum or repository, you really are doing just about everything. Before an object even reaches our door, we ensure that it gets here. We ensure that the legal aspects are taken care of, that the shipping is arranged. When it reaches our doorstep, that it's free of pests and bugs. We organize it, we inventory it, we catalog it, ensure that its correct name and all the documentation that goes with it is accurate and available. Collections people now take photographs of the objects and make them available online to the public at this point for ethnographic and archaeological collections. And we house the collections and we loan them to other institutions, and it's all part of what we do. One of the key parts is making the collections available to researchers. Individuals coming here to study them, whether they're a scientific question they want answered, or it's a Native American with a specific interest in a craft or cultural revitalization. Our jobs are to ensure that they're available for people to study. We do have a culturally sensitive care program that not only encompasses our Native American collections, but also takes into consideration collections around the world. For example, we've had requests by some of our Asian visitors that are Buddhist that any image of Buddha be placed at a higher level than secular items. It is a sign of disrespect to have the image of Buddha beneath, say, something like a shoe. So we've gone through the collections whenever possible and either moved the sculptures or images of Buddha up to a higher shelf or created new units for that. We've put notes on the outside of the units describing the request, and we've recorded it for future generations in case they want to know why this request was made. The anthropology department has an absolutely fascinating collection. It spans all time frames, all time from human interaction, Neanderthal time periods, right up to contemporary material. It spans the whole world. The collections are so wide-ranging in what they are. Contemporary cloths from Mali, ancient jewelry from Egypt, Paleo-Indian material. And these collections were acquired in many different ways. In the early years of the Smithsonian, in the 19th century, we received materials from diplomatic missions, from government-sponsored surveys, exploring expeditions. In the years of the Bureau of American Ethnology, we did do a lot of field collecting. That doesn't happen as often today. But in the past, a lot of our collections, archaeological and ethnographic, came from the Bureau of American Ethnology. Today we rely more on donations, individuals giving us material. And on occasion, the curators, our anthropologists, will go in the field to acquire material. But what is most important for any of the collections we have is the associated documentation that goes with it. We are interested in the legal aspects. It's important to know where you got the collection, how you received it. You received it legally. A fiduciary responsibility is key. But what is also important to us is who made this object? Why did they make it? What was it used for? What materials did they use to make it? If it's an archaeological collection, do we have the journals, the diaries, or the field records, the photographs, the maps, all the associated documentation? With that information, the collection becomes important and for others to study. If you don't have that associated documentation, if you have the legal part, but not so much the who, what, when, and where, you might just have a pretty object, pretty art object, but not something that truly tells a story about human history or the individuals who made it. One question that comes up quite frequently is, why do we have 2.5 million objects and specimens here? Why do we have perhaps so many pots from the Southwest, from the Hopi Reservation? Why do we collect all these little tiny lithic flakes from an archaeological site? What is their purpose? Wouldn't just one or two suffice? And I think one of the things we have to take into consideration is these First off, these objects are not mass-produced. They're not made by machines for the most part. They're actually crafted by individuals. And no two objects are really going to be the same. Even if they're same style of jar and same type of design on a pot made by the same person, there's going to be some variation there. Somebody can come in and study it and see, why did they make this pot this way? Why were they using this style of paint? Why is the design of the moth different on this pot than on this other pot? And for these artisans, for craftsmen to come through and look at our collection, to look at the breadth and the depth and across time and across all the different cultures and different continents, and look what people are making. It just is so exciting for them, and it inspires them in their own contemporary designs. And then we have researchers, scientific researchers, students that are coming in looking at the collections too with a specific research question in mind. Today's technologies have changed so much. If we didn't have these things, if we didn't keep these objects and all of these, we wouldn't be able to look at them with a new eye that we can today. And we want to have these collections available because in 100 years from now, all the new technologies that are going to be available, all the new ways of looking at things, it's going to change. And if we don't have them, we're not going to be able to do those studies.